Hey guys, welcome back to another math lesson. Today we are looking at equations that have variables on both sides. So we're going to be dealing with multiple variables, but the same variable. So like x, but on both sides. When we talked about expressions, we learned that remembered that expressions are not equations. Expressions don't have an equal sign. So equations have an equal sign. So we are solving these today. There is an equal sign. There is an answer. So we are solving. We are going to solve for the variable. All right. So to model, because it's sometimes easy for us to see it, we're going to have unknowns on both sides. So if I have an x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 x's. So x, x, x. Now these are like boxes, and there's something in this box, and we don't know what's in the box, so we have to figure it out. But we do know that this many boxes equals 2 boxes and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I forgot to mention there's a negative 1 over here. So these are positive, 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 positive. This is x, x. Yep. Okay, so here's my equation that I'm modeled out, and I know that these two sides are equal. So when I write that out, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 x's on this side, and a negative 1, which I can write as minus 1. And I know that that is equal to 2 x's and positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 positives. All right, so that got us there. Now let's start to solve it. The first thing I want you to do is decide which side you want to put the variables on and which side you're going to put the numbers on. Decide which side gets variables and numbers. Your goal here, you want a positive variable. Is it necessary? Does it have to happen that way? Absolutely not. Does it make it a little bit easier? Yeah, a little bit. So if I have 2 positives on this side and 7 x's on this side, would it be easier to take 2 boxes away from both sides or take 7 boxes away from both sides? It's probably easier to take 2 boxes away. So I'm going to put my variables on this side and my numbers on this side. Again, it doesn't really matter, but it might make it easier because it's a lot easier to go, all right, cross this out, cross this out, cross this out, cross this out. That's a little bit easier, especially since we're just getting into this. So I am going to decide to move my 2x or cancel out my 2x. Don't say move. That's what messed me up in 7th grade. We're not moving anything. We're canceling things out. So if I take 2 x's away from the right side and I take 2 x's away from the left side, if I had 7 x's and I take out 2 x's, how many x's are left? We have 5 x's. And we still have a negative 1 or a minus 1, and now we know that that equals 5. Well, now that we've done that, this is just a 2-step equation. And you know how to solve 2-step equations. The other thing I'd like for you to do first is cancel out variables first. Focus on those variables first. So we canceled the variable first. So we did that. Check. That was done. Now we need to cancel the numbers. So the next thing we're moving towards after we've got the variables is now we need to cancel out that number. So next we're going to cancel the number. So the opposite of subtracting 1 is to add 1. So we're going to add 1 to both sides of the equal sign. This whole idea of both sides of the equal sign never goes away. They are equal. So this cancels, so I have 5x's left on this side, and I know that that equals 6. All right. Now I'm left with a one-step equation. So we went from, this is 8th grade math, 7th grade math, 6th grade math. So now we want to cancel out the coefficient or undo the coefficient. The number touching the letter is the coefficient. It's how many variables there are. So there's 5 x's. And the opposite of 5 times x is to divide by x. I'm sorry, divide by 5. We want to keep x. We could, you'll see. We could divide by x, but that's not going to get us anywhere. So we am left with x over here, and that equals, we can leave it 6 over 5. We can call it 1 1/5. We can call it 1.2. Depending on what you're doing, depends on the answer you want. If it's a griddable, if it's something that you're having to fill out on a Scantron, it's 1.2. If we're trying to do something with a graph, 6 over 5 is probably best. 1 1/5 might be your multiple choice. This is probably the answer most of you are going to want to lean into. All right, let's do another example, and I want to test out a theory. Not a theory, I know it works, but I want you to see how it works. So I've got negative 4p minus 7 equals 5p plus 11. We're going to split our paper in half here. So only work on the left side of your paper, if you will. Only left. Well, that was a crooked line. All right, left side only. I want to prove, well, let's say that I choose that I want numbers on the left side and variables on the right side. I'm going to put variables. Okay, so what can I do to this variable to cancel it out? What is the opposite of negative 4p? A positive 4p. So if I add 4p to this side and I add 4p to this side, go ahead and draw my line. This cancels, and I'm left with negative 7 on this side. Negative 7 equals, what is 5p plus 4p? 9p plus 11. All right, now what do I do to that plus 11 to cancel it out? I would minus 11. So if I take 11 away from both sides, this would cancel. I'm left with 9p, and negative 7 minus 11, negative 18. All right, and then how do I undo the coefficient here? I would divide by 9, and negative 18 divided by 9 is negative 2. I'm sorry, negative 2. Negative 2 equals p. That's what I meant to write. Negative 2 equals p. All right. What if at the beginning of this equation, I decided to put numbers on the other side? So negative 4p minus 7 equals 5p plus 11. What if instead of putting numbers on the left side, I put numbers on the right side and I moved my variable to the left side? How would I get rid of 5p? What's the opposite of a positive 5p? Negative 5p. So if I minus 5p, let's go ahead and draw our line so we don't lose it. If I minus 5p first, okay, that would be 0, but I'm left with a positive 11. Negative 4p minus 5p is negative 9p minus 7. Don't forget the minus 7. What do I need to do to this side to cancel out a negative 7? What do I do to cancel out a negative 7? I'm going to add 7. So plus 7 here, plus 7 here. What's 11 plus 7? 18. Over here, this canceled, so I've got negative 9p. I want you to pause right here and look at the difference here. You see how we had 9p and negative 18? And we had 18 and negative 9p? All right, so what do I do on this side? If it's multiplying by negative 9, what are you going to do? We're going to divide by negative 9, divide by negative 9. So we end up with p equals negative 2. So we're moving out of the realm of like there's one way to do these to there's lots of ways you can do it. If you pick different steps, you still end up with the right answer. So don't get really hung up at the beginning like, I need to put things here. I need to move this first. If this negative 7 jumps out at you and you're like, I want to cancel out that negative 7, do it. Do it on both sides first. Just make sure that when you add that 7, you add it to the 11, not the 5p, because 7s don't go with p's. All right, this just takes practice. Remember, your variables go together with other variables. Numbers go with other numbers. And jump in. Have fun. See you guys later.